Today's topic, guys, is we're gonna extract a few things. We're gonna talk a little bit. A couple years ago, I wrote this book called Zebras and Cheetahs. Okay, and this is very relevant to the real estate world, and let me tell you why. Is a zebra looks different than every other animal in the animal kingdom. A zebra stands out. Okay, a cheetah runs faster than every other animal in the animal kingdom. So the analogy is, how do I take a real estate professional and help them become a zebra? How do I help them stand out amongst the 4,000 other agents? And how do I help them run faster? Okay? So to stand out, we have to know, there's kind of a little bit of a process to that. It is about extracting what makes us unique and special, okay? And then packaging what makes us unique and special and selling what makes us unique and special, okay? So I want you to think of it like this. If I want to be a zebra in the market, I first have to find out what my special is. What is it about me that makes me unique in comparison to thousands of other people? Most people do not know what this is. How many classes did you have in school in finding this? Matter of fact, you were most likely taught the opposite. You were most likely in school taught not to stand out. You were probably taught to fit in. And that is the worst advice you could ever get when you're running a business. I don't need you to fit in. I need you to clearly stand out amongst everybody else. Especially now, when you hear me use the word commoditization, what I'm saying is the stats tell me that most people see realtors as commodities. That's why 67% of people use the first one that contacts them. Because in a general consumer's mind, they don't know the difference between one and another. So what do they think? I just use anybody. It's just a real estate transaction. But the more sophisticated the buyer or the seller becomes, and you guys work with a little bit more sophisticated buyers and sellers because your price points are higher, they don't use the first one. They ask questions like, who's the best one? And then they start asking very specific questions like, who can sell this faster than anybody else? Who has deeper networks than anybody else? Who's a better negotiator than anybody else? Right? So the first step of being a zebra is we got to really extract what makes me special. Then we got to figure out how to package what makes me special, which is where the explanation of services comes in, right? And then the third thing we got to do is we got to figure out how to sell what makes us special. And for a long time, we just kind of do what the herd does. We just go out and do what everybody else does. So everybody else promotes themselves this way I promote myself, right? And so what happens is we fall into a commodity trap. And the commodity trap is I don't know one from another. I don't know the difference. So if I lined up all the real estate agents in the Greater Nashville Association parking lot, what does it matter? Let's just play pin the tail on the donkey. Right? That's how people think. Well, what you got to think is, I have spent my lifetime cultivating a very unique skill set. My whole life. Doesn't matter if you've been selling real estate or not. I am not a generalist, I am a specialist. I am not a realtor, I'm an entrepreneur. See the difference? So I'm really an entrepreneur that has a very special skill set in doing this. And that's why people call me. Okay? So where would my special come from? Okay? If I came to you and said, look, I'm really trying to help myself separate myself from all the other coaches that are out there. I'm competing versus Rick Ruby and Brian Buffini and Tim and Tom and Don Ferry and all the brothers and sisters and daddies, and right? How do I separate myself? What would you tell me? How would you tell me to find this if you were coaching me?
Your past experiences.
Okay? You tell me to look back, right? Look back. All the good comes from my past. And the bad, right? And then how could I extract what it is that makes me really unique, though? Like, how would I find that other than just looking back? There you go. What if I said, look, why do you enjoy working with me? And they say, well, I really enjoy working with you because of this, this, and this. Right? Like I was speaking in New Orleans last week to Coldwell Banker agents, like 150 agents. And the brokers kept coming up to me telling me the same thing. You're so much different. You're so different than all the other real estate coaches. And I said, well, why do you think that is? Because you got a unique background. I mean, you're a former coach, you're a former women's basketball coach. You're not telling us the same things they're telling us. They liked that I was different. Well, where did that difference come from? It came from my past. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I've not been contaminated by what everybody else says, right? So for you, the reason this is critical in the EOS is because you can't tell me as part of your EOS what makes you different until you know what makes you different. So when you're sharing your EOS and you're going, here's what I believe. Here's why I believe this. Here's what it is I will do for you when you hire me. Here's how I will do it different than everybody else on planet Earth. Right? Here's everybody I'm doing it for. And if that sounds good to you, what would stop us from moving to round 2? Now, here's a big fallacy I want to just bust wide open today for you. Just like you wouldn't ask someone to marry you on the first date, don't expect me to buy a $700,000 home on the first phone call. This is one of the biggest myths that drives me crazy, okay? When we call a person to discover what's going on in their life and see if they're a potential or not, we don't say, hey, will you spend $25,000 a day with Coach Burt? We just talk to them and discover what they need. And typically, we just push them to something that's free. Everybody with me? Then we let them get to know me a little bit more. We say, well, why don't you come see him speak live? Or why don't you get on a webinar with him? Or why don't we send you this video? We don't try to sell you the whole kit and caboodle on the first phone call. And that's kind of like a lot of real estate agents think. Well, you called in, you indicated interest, you must want to buy this $700,000 property. We don't know each other, but let's go ahead and do this today. That's crazy. You guys are laughing because you know it's true. What we do, though, we always push them to something. So the first phone call is to do that discovery. Let me tell you what we believe. Let me tell you why we believe it. Let me tell you what it is we could do for you, right? We do for our clients. Let me tell you how we do a little bit different. If that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and go to round 2. Maybe you want to meet in person, or maybe you want to go look at some property. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just sell them everything on the first one. And that's a big fallacy. So the reason a lot of people are not going 7 to 15 touches in real estate because it takes effort. But if you don't have this part down, you're not going to have a good explanation of services. Okay? Now, let me ask you this question. So do you believe that how you articulate your services, could that be what makes you a zebra? All right, so let me ask it another way. If you don't have a good EOS, how do you market and brand yourself? How do you position yourself in the market? How do you know who's a good fit for you and who's not a good fit for you? See, this one thing is we got a client in Houston, Texas who said it's a small hinge that turns a big door. The EOS is a small hinge that turns a big door because I don't choose to partner with people unless we believe the same things. Right? Okay? So, having said that, part of what makes you a zebra is how you articulate your services. So you guys have been practicing your explanation of services, right? You've been working on it to some extent, okay? And we're going to let a few people share their EOS because here's one thing I'm going to push you guys to. Training is not something you did. Training is something you do every day. Military trains every day. Olympians train every day. So we've actually implemented more training in my office. Every day from 8:30 to 9, our people are training. Training on what? How to make an outbound call, how to overcome objection, how to articulate our services, how to bounce back. Then from 9 to 11, our people are on the phones for 2 hours prospecting. And during that time, I really don't want them solving any customer issues. I want them outbound prospecting for 2 hours a day. Then in the afternoons, I want them solving our customer issues, responding back. I believe we can make $1 million more a year if we will just commit to that habit. Training for 30 minutes, outbound calls for 2 hours. Everybody follow me? When I have coached $1 million real estate agents, every one of them prospect for 2 hours a day. They're typically in the office by 8:15, 9 o'clock comes, they're on their phone. They're having a minimum of 10 to 20 great conversations a day. And what they're doing is they're uncovering things. So for example, if I go to sell Jeannie something, and I call it a linear sale, which means I come right at you to sell you something, but maybe you don't want that. What I'm really doing is trying to uncover, I may not sell her anything, but I may get access to her 3 friends. So I'm having these conversations and I'm uncovering rocks and I'm discovering things. And I go into this thinking, we're going to find a deal somewhere. I just don't know where it is. It may not be straight with Jenny, but Jenny may introduce me to 4 people. So I want people having a lot of conversations in a day, uncovering rocks. And from 9 to 11, I think if we can commit to doing that every day, I promise you, you'll sell more, okay? When you get on the phone, though, what do you say? You share your explanation of services. You build rapport, you discover, and you say, well, let me tell you what we believe. Let me tell you why we believe it. Do I have to give all 6 parts every time? No. Sometimes I say, hey, I believe everybody needs a good coach. If we could help you get a 43% increase in your sales, would it be valuable to you? I don't go through the whole thing every time. Sometimes I say, here's what I believe, here's what I do. Does this sound interesting to you? If so, let's keep going. If not, maybe we're not a good fit, right? So, but you need it at your disposal because sometimes you want to go through the whole thing, okay? So, got a few people who would like to share their EOSs, and thank you for volunteering, by the way. I love volunteers, okay? All right, here we go. Showtime. Andy's coming up to the front, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a hand, everybody. A true zebra.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Okay. I think I've got the first 3. I've been working on the first 3. I think I got the first 3 down. You guys let me know. Let's see. All right. Home ownership, guys. I believe in home ownership. It has the power, the ability to transform lives in wonderful, powerful ways. Not only financially. Now, financially, yes, but emotionally as well. Guys, that's really where memories are made. Now, you may be wondering, why do you believe this? Are you wondering why I believe it? I believe the right home purchase can transform your life financially. I believe it can put you on solid footing. What will be most likely your greatest financial investment in your lifetime. And I know you're looking at me, you're thinking, Brent, talk is cheap. Anybody can stand up there and talk. What is it that you do differently? Are you wondering what I do differently? I believe in the power, guys, of clear communication. This is what I do differently. I believe taking the time necessary to actually listen and thoughtfully respond and proactively respond to what you're hearing can help untangle what can often become confusing and complicated in real estate transactions. Appreciate your vote.
That was excellent, by the way. How do you transition now into asking them to come on board with you?
Well, I'm working on that.
Okay, well, I didn't feel bad. Okay, good. Excellent job, man.
Now, let me ask you this. Okay, so thank you for volunteering. And great passion, great conviction. So I want you to think of the process. So here's a process I want you to always remember. At some point in your life, you have a revelation. Revelation, some big aha moment, right? Because of that revelation, you have conviction. As a result of that conviction, you take action. What he's really selling is his conviction about home ownership. You follow me here? And if you don't have that revelation and conviction, guess what? You can't sell it. You can't sell it. And that's really what you're selling. Okay? So at the end, what he could say, now how will he know if he's sharing his explanation of service with someone in person? How would he know if they're buying? Body language. Body language. He's going to know. And so at the end, he say, if this sounds interesting to you, would you like to set up a meeting? Remember, you ain't got to sell him. You ain't got to marry him on the first date. He may say, if this sounds good to you, would you like to go to round 2? If this interests you, would you like to look at a property? You understand what I'm saying? Would you like to come in for a face-to-face? Remember, we're always moving people to something. Okay, now I'm going to give you an example. In my old days, when I first started in this profession, I was just a speaker. So I would go speak, they'd bring in the audiences, I'd do my dog and pony show, and it was all good, and I'd sell them a $15 book, and then I'd go home. And I'd get a little psychological satisfaction, I'd feel good, and then I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm not pushing them to anything. I don't have any way, I may never see these people again, the rest of the, right? And then I said, man, I need something to always push people to. Come on a free webinar with me. Sit in on a free class. Sign up for Monster Producer. Same thing for you. You need to never end a conversation without pushing them to something. A meeting, a schedule, look at a house. Would you like to take, right? So that's what he could say at the end. It's a soft sale. Okay? So we did a great job. So congratulations. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
And if this doesn't work out for you, you got a career on Broadway too, big guy. All right, who else would like to go? What's the hardest part about the EOS so far for you?
I'll read mine if you don't make me stand up.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, and I don't know how to follow that, but okay. This is what I have so far. I have to read it, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Although I do have parts of it that I said this week in a meeting with an attorney that I was trying to get.
Yes.
And it just like came out. I called Jeannie after, I was like, that was the weirdest.
Good.
It just like, it fit in the, not the whole thing, but pieces of it.
Right.
And
Nice.
just being mindful of it.
Nice.
I believe that everyone deserves a professional realtor to represent them, from the $100,000 first-time buyer to the $1 million experienced seller.
Okay.
I believe my job is to remove as much of the stress and worry from this process as possible. I love my job, and having lived in Nashville for over 35 years gives me a unique perspective on our local market and has blessed me with a wealth of resources that I share with my clients. Finally, I believe that real estate is fun. It is stressful and sometimes frustrating, but at the end of the day, my goal is to help you relax and enjoy this process while I get you what you want.
Okay. Nice. How do you feel about it?
Okay.
Okay.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Which part did you use with the attorney?
I talked to her about that everyone needs a professional realtor, whether it's a first-time buyer, and that she's an elder care attorney, and so I spoke about my personal experience with my husband. We have an elder care attorney that we have used, so I spoke about our experience. I'm like, I get it. I get the emotion that is associated with being a child and having to deal with your parents' home or your family home, and maybe not wanting to let it go, but needing to financially so that you can afford to get your parents the care they need. And I said, I get that emotion, and I'm very happy to, help someone through that process and not push, so it just kind of fit in.
Okay.
And I said, at the end of the day, my job is to make this easy for them, to do all the little things so they don't have to worry about that stuff. I want to take that stress off of them.
Yep. Okay. So how many people believe that, all right, so let me put it this way. How many people believe every person deserves the right to work with a professional real estate agent? Yes. When they buy, sell, build, or finance real estate. Everybody believe that? That's always a great one to lead with. And you know why? Because there's a lot of non-professional real estate agents in the market. There's a lot of part-time agents. There's a lot of people that are not true experts. So you're never going to go wrong if you lead with that. Because they're probably going to go, I agree with that, right? How many people believe...
Can I stop you right there?
Please.
Okay, so following up, like if you tell somebody that they have the right to a professional real estate
Yep.
agent, it never occurs to them how many part-time, how many.
No, it doesn't.
Can you follow up, or is that like too much of a zinger?
Well, you could say less than X number percent of people that are in the real estate profession are full-time agents. Or
I've said that though. If I was being interviewed by a potential buyer, I have pointed out to them, look, this is a relationship, and you've got to trust me and want to work with me, and I need to feel the same way about you. And as you go through this process, if you're going to talk to other people, just ask, are they full-time? Are they a licensed realtor? Are they bound by the code of ethics? I mean, I've thrown that out there. Just, these are things that I am and that I offer you. And if our personalities don't fit, that's fine. But I want you to have the best representation possible.
You know, when you're sharing these things, but that's critical, okay? How many people believe that there's a difference between a house and a home? That a house is made up of sticks and bricks, a home is made up of memories. How many people believe that your home is an oasis away from the stress and pressures of life, where you can be yourself, right? So all you have to do is say, here's what I believe. So just get in your mind that you're not sharing something corny, or you're sharing really what you believe. I don't know what it is you believe. Those are things I personally believe. Once you get your first 3 belief statements down, then it begins to roll a little bit, right? So I typically say, because of that belief, here's what it is I do. Okay? Now, my real estate agent would tell you, when you say, what do you do for Coach Burt? He would say, I regulate emotion, because sometimes it can be incredibly emotional when you're dealing with money and memories. He would say, I negotiate to get him more money on his properties when he's buying or selling, and I get more eyeballs than anybody else. He would say those are the 3 things he does for me. Those are valuable, hard skills. I get more eyeballs on your properties, I negotiate higher rates, and I regulate your emotion. So in essence, he's taking the stress out of, right? But see how specific that is? Here's what I do for my clients. And, you know, okay? There's a couple ways I do it a little bit different than everybody else. Maybe 1 way, maybe 2 ways, maybe 3 ways. Because I do think some people, the more sophisticated, they are thinking it. It's a hidden objection. That means, you know, I'm looking at Chris, I'm trying to wonder, you know, we're looking at 3 different people, how do you do it different here? And this is a confidence thing for you, right? I've been able to help this many people in the course of my lifetime. If I could help you, what would stop us from kind of moving to the next round? If I could do this for you, like I've done it for other people, what would stop us? Sometimes a soft way to say it is, out of everything I've shared with you, what piqued your interest the most? And they may go, I really like this part. Okay, let's unpack that part. Now, when you get into something, the one phrase I want you to start using is, I want you to change the words from I'm selling something to I'm giving something. So let me give you an example. I'm giving you the opportunity to get out of the house you don't want into the subdivision you've always wanted. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you an opportunity for your kids to go to the school they've always wanted to go to. I'm giving you the opportunity to have a master bedroom that you've always wanted. I'm not selling it to you, I am giving it to you. Sometimes I'll say, when you come with us, let me show you all the things I'm going to give you. Right? When you come to the Wilson Group, look at all the things we're going to give you as a part of this relationship. We're giving it to you. Okay? So giving versus selling is a big one. I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this. And then I want you to start using this phraseology, it seems like. Okay, if you guys got to watch my interview with Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator, one of the big takeaways I had was he said that it seems like will open a person up to talk. So they're looking at a property, seems like you loved the master closet. It seems like you want to move forward with this, but the only thing holding you back is the price point. It seems like. So if they're stuck, you get them talking by saying it seems like. If they like something, it seems like. Okay? Well, I don't know about this particular, you know, this is not 100% of what I want. Remember what I told you? 100% is a myth. If I could get you to 80% of what you want, at the price point you want, in the subdivision you want, and I'm giving you the opportunity to get out of that and into this.
It seems like you don't like anything I've shown you, so maybe you should find something.
Okay, don't say that. It seems like you're a lunatic, okay? And a psychopath. And so I'm going to pass you on to somebody else. Right? Sometimes it seems like it. Okay? So here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. On the EOS, I want to do a little bit of practice with each other. Because I want you to really get, if there's one part, there's 2 parts I want you to get down. I want you to get down the I believe part, if there's 2 beliefs or 3, and then I want you to get down what you actually do. Because I think when you get clarity about what it is you do, and I typically say there's 3 things we do for you. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, what's your question?
You know, that's what I feel like I've got the I believes in my EOS.
Yep.
And I'm happy to read it, but I don't know that I you know, I've quite figured out how to summarize all that I do, because I feel
Yeah.
like I do
Yeah.
take somebody from A to Z.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out in 3 quick points
Yeah.
what that A to Z is.
Well, I want you to remember, I have one real estate person, one broker always says you got to reduce it to the ridiculous.
Right.
And the reason he says that, I like that phrasing because the average person does not think about real estate every day like you do. Like, just because I coach doesn't mean that you think about coaching until you have to come get coached by Coach Burt. You follow me? Well, if I really told you everything I do in a day, you'd be like, I mean, I don't need all that. What I need is somebody to get me focused, give me a good kick in the hind end from time to time, and help me protect my confidence. That's what Coach Burt does for me. See how simple that was? Right? So for you, you got to say, it's like this. Get it down to the essence.
Can I read you what
Absolutely.
I believe every person deserves and needs a full-time real estate agent to be their advocate for the biggest purchase you'll make. I also believe everyone deserves an experienced agent who has a strong track record. I have over a decade of experience in the business and close 30 to 40 transactions a year, which are repeat customers, family, and friends. I would like to help you, and that's where I kind of stumble
Okay.
on the next
Okay.
couple of things.
Yep. All right. So I like using the word, when you say repeat customers, I use this phrase a lot. I have a 92% retention rate. And what that means is 92% of people that use me come back and use me a second year. And people are like, man, 92%? That's a high number. Well, that shows you that we're really doing a great job. Or I say I have a 1.6% churn rate, which means only 1.6% of everybody that I coach opt out. National average is typically 8 to 12%. You see what I'm saying? Because I believe in customer engagement, not customer service. So when you're thinking about saying that one about repeat and referral business, I would say on average, the person, people that use me one time come back a second and third time to use me again. And refer me to their friends. Okay? So you're just looking for good phraseology to make them really like a stick point. On average, I typically get 3 to 5 referrals off every transaction. And I don't like the word transaction. You see what I'm saying? Sure. I think transaction's a dirty word. Okay? I think it means discard. And that's not what you're looking for. So, but you don't want to get too deep and say, I believe in transformational experience, and it's going to change your whole life, and, but you understand what I'm saying. So what I want you to practice on right now is just the part that you feel like maybe you struggle the most. Okay, how many people feel like they know how they do it different than everybody else? Okay, this is critical. Some people make it fun. Some people say, I believe in talking to my clients once a week. Some people say, I have a unique 3-step process. I want you thinking zebras. Zebras are very unique, okay? So just think in your mind. So practice just a little bit on the key parts right now with someone around you, and just get in the habit of verbalize it. The more you verbalize this, the more natural. What's going to happen is it's going to jump out on you and you don't even know it.
It was weird.
Right? Yeah. It's going to jump out and you go, man, that was my EOS.
It came out and I was like, oh my God, and I'm saying it, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh wow.
And then it becomes muscle memory. All right, take off. Just get you a little practice in here. Okay, let's look at the sales cycle. And I want you to think about where you currently fall off the wagon. This is the entire sales cycle. The reason I show you this is because you can diagnose where you're the weakest at. Are you weak in filling your pipeline? This is where your hit list would be here. So when you come into a week, your hit list are people I think I can help with my services. The reason I call them suspects are because I don't know. We've not had that qualifying conversation yet. I've really not shared my EOS with you. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Okay, so now, this is a good example. So Julie brought me a speaking lead. Let's say that she walked up to me on the way out today and she goes, somebody, so-and-so wants you to speak at this. That goes immediately to my hit list. Because the hit list just represents opportunity. You follow me? That's all the hit list is. Don't confuse that. It's any new opportunity. That does not mean that opportunity is going to be right. We don't know if it's going to be right or not until we explore it. Okay? So it's a suspect. But she told me what she wanted. I said I'd be willing to do that. Okay, it'd only be $50,000. Just kidding. I didn't tell you that part. But I said, I'm right, but let's say I didn't know. Let's just say, hey, so-and-so wants a coach. I don't know if they really want a coach or not. I don't know if I'm the right coach for them. We suspect there may be an opportunity here. So number one, I start off with 10 suspects a week. So when I come into the week, I'm looking for 10 new people I can help. Those can come anywhere. They can come from past clients. They can come from strategic partnerships. They can come from referrals. Those are my leads. And if you're not hitting your sales goals, it's most likely because you're not feeding that pipeline enough suspects. Because some of them are going to fall off the wagon. Once I get in front of a suspect, what do I share? Okay? So let's just take this example. She wants me to speak at Father Ryan to a group of real estate agents. Let's say I got to speak to somebody. They don't know about me. They don't know who I am. Let's say she sets up a phone call. When I get on the phone, I'm going to say, here's what I believe. I believe whatever. Trained people always outperform untrained people. I believe when you're doing an event like this, there's got to be some bait for them to come, other than just touring the school. I believe this. Okay, here's what we suggest. They say yes, right? But let's say we don't cement the deal. Let's say they're interested. Then they move to a what? Now this is where my farm club is. But if I don't have a good EOS, do you see where we could fall off the wagon here? If you don't have a good EOS, you may never get past the suspect phase. It's like I talked to you and you weren't very good. So why would I move to the next round? When I talk to you and you're really good, I'm like, you're good. I am interested. I am interested. Okay? Now, how many people fall off because they're not going after enough suspects every week? So you can look at the pipeline and go, so my rule is real simple. I come into every week with 10. 10 people I believe I can help. Where do I find those people? Anywhere. I find them a lot just by going out in the world and circulating. You know, if you were out there and Abby, if we noticed that Abby likes my post consistently on Facebook, she's going to get a phone call from our office. And our office is going to say, Abby, it looks like everything Coach Burt posts you like. Have you ever seen Coach Burt speak live? Right? We're not going to try to sell her a $5,000 deal. We're going to say, hey, would you like to come see? Where do you live, Abby? Oh, I live in Nashville. Great. Coach Burt's going to be in Nashville September 13th. Would you like to come see him live? VIP pass on us. We got that lead. That was a hit list lead that came from where? Facebook. We just noticed that she's constantly on there liking my stuff. You'd be shocked how many people we sell like that. If they buy $9, we just had somebody buy an ebook online while I'm sitting here. They go straight to Eric White. Eric White will call them. Hey, I just noticed you bought Coach Burt's ebook. Have you ever seen him speak live? Can we get you in a class so you can see him? They say, well, I live in Arkansas. Don't matter. He simulcasts his stuff all over the world. Did you know he has an online academy? What if I gave you 15 days access to his online academy? Does that make sense? So we're looking for hit list people everywhere. So if you get out and circulate enough, get out of your mind you're trying to sell everybody a house. Get into your mind that you're trying to go out and find cool people you want to work with. So you meet somebody at a place, man, you're a cool person. Let's follow back up. You're a cool person. Let's follow back up and take lunch with each other. Maybe some opportunity for us. I don't know if there is or not. So you got to get out of this linear sale that I come at you with a house, and if you don't want it today, you're not a prospect of mine. I'm looking for cool people out in the world who can introduce me to other cool people. And we will find some opportunity somewhere. You with me? So if you don't have 10 people on your hit list, so here's the stats. I just wanted to constantly remind you, 67% of people use the first agent that contacts them. That's why speed is so critical. Okay? Average transaction should be worth 5.7 referrals. Now, where are the referrals coming from in this pipeline? Over here. You see where we're getting at these? Okay? So when you're, I'm not tall enough, you can't see me over this thing, can you? So look at look at this stat right here. Less than 9% of people remember their real estate agent's name after the transaction. Now, what's happening is they're working real hard to get the client, and then there's nothing over here. Well, to me, that's the gold, because I could be getting 6 referrals. Average person's going to buy 4 to 6 houses over the course of their lifetime. So what I'm looking for, man, I'm looking for this. Trying to keep this pipeline so full. I'm trying to keep this pipeline so full. So I'm working my hit list every week and pushing people in. Then I'm going to 7 touches with people in the farm club. Okay, and we'll talk about that. Then I'm getting new clients and I'm trying to onboard them correctly. Then I'm trying to push people to promoter. Then I'm trying to do stuff for my advocates. And what that's doing is that's feeding that pipeline with leads. So right now I've got about 350 leads. 350 people have indicated interest in working with me in some capacity. So that could represent $2 or $3 million of business. You follow me? We should have something to do every day. Calling on people, talking to people, interesting people. So it's a volume game. We know deals are going to fall off, but we're trying to just feed that pipeline so full. Okay? So how many people fall off once they get a prospect or once a person indicates interest? You're not going the distance of 7 great touches. How many people fall off there? And let's say you cannot count automation here. You can't say I sent an automated drip. Here's the thing I did. I went and looked at properties not long ago in Nashville with an agent. Really liked the agent. Okay? I didn't buy anything that day. There was a couple things that were interesting. But what happens is then we get an automated drip and there's no human connection anymore. So I went and looked at the properties. I'm on the fence because of the Airbnb regulations in Nashville. That's the only reason I'd buy property in Nashville. You know, I told you guys I live on the Franklin side of Murfreesboro. Y'all remember that? The Franklin side of Murfreesboro. And so I went and looked at properties. There were some properties my wife loved. She probably could be persuaded to buy one of those properties. But what happens is then we get an automated drip and we just fall off the wagon. So I want you to remember this term linear. Is I come at you and try to sell you this and you didn't buy it that day. That's like asking somebody to marry you that day and they say no and you go, well, what's wrong with you? What should happen is, hey, Coach Burt, I know we didn't find something that day, but man, we've got some other deals, right? There should be some type of follow-up there of 7 touches because I indicated interest. I actually took time out of my day and went and looked at properties. So I was interested enough to take time out of my day to go look at a property. That means I'm interested in something, right?
How'd you pick your agent?
I picked my agent in that particular case because I work with their firm.
Your agent in Murfreesboro, this is someone in their...
Nope, it's another agent. I'm coaching the broker. I really like the broker, and I wanted to try one of his agents out.
Gotcha. Okay.
I did not buy any properties. But I did really like the agent. She was very good. She was very knowledgeable. I walked out of the experience really liking her. My wife really liked her. Okay? The only place she's fallen off is the follow-up.
So would you rather her follow up by an email or by call?
I would rather her probably do both. I would find some way to get my attention again. See, what happens is, it's called object impermanence. Is we were looking at something, we're focused on it, and then we lost our focus and got over here. And if there's nothing to pull me back to that, I never come back.
And so if she has nothing to show you because the inventory is so low,
Don't matter.
I mean, and so
Don't matter.
Do you want to hear from her just to say, hey, I'm still actively looking for you. I am using all of my resources to find something for you, and you
Yes.
want to hear that from
I do. Because what happens if a year from now I decide I want to buy a condo in Nashville? The first person I'm going to think of is her.
Right.
All right, now, because she sold me on I'm in the know in Nashville.
Yeah.
I've got connections. I know what's happening. I know where things are going. I know I got a lot of investors. She sold me on that. So if she will stay at the top of my mind with the follow-up and just, hey, Coach Burt, checking in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Coach Burt, still fighting for you, still looking for properties. Anything changed with you and your wife? Loved your wife. Next time you're in Nashville, love to see you. When I do make a buying decision, it's called a trigger event. Something may trigger me. Like 2 years ago, I got on a kick. I wanted a condo in the Viridian. I don't need a condo in the Viridian. I can't rent it. But I went down to the Viridian and went up on the top where that pool is and overlooked Nashville. And then for a week, I just had to have a condo in the Viridian. My banker's telling me, don't do this. This is stupid. My real estate agent's telling me, don't do this. This is stupid. I'm like, no, I'm buying one. My wife loves it. I love it. We're buying one. And, well, we made 4 or 5 offers, and we couldn't get it. We offered over asking and couldn't get it. So then we got off of it. And then I said, thank God I didn't buy a condo in the Viridian. But see how impulsive I am? I would have dropped $250,000 on one of those bad boys in that week. If you'd have caught me at the right time, I'd have done it. I would have bought that. I would have found a way to turn it into an asset, because I take every liability I've got and turn it into an asset. So I would have put clients up in there. I would have hosted parties up on top of the Viridian. I don't buy things unless I use them to make money. You understand? That bus I got out there, it's $100,000. I don't buy things unless I find ways to use it to make money. Okay? So I would have found a way, but I didn't need it. Well, when I think of that, so here's how that worked. My agent who was representing me was from Murfreesboro. She didn't have any connections in Nashville. So after about 3 rounds, I'm like, girl, you way out of your league here. So I picked up the phone and called the agent who was the most top of my mind in Nashville, which was a Keller Williams agent. I said, tell me what's going on with the Viridian. And she told me, here's exactly what's going on. Right? If that agent who showed me those properties was that person, then when I have a buying decision, I go straight to her. That's why you stay in people's lives. I call people today that don't even call me back, don't answer the phone, have never called me back. And I leave them a voicemail. Hey, this is Coach Burt. We believe trained people always outperform untrained people, right? When you're ready to get your people trained, you know where to call, right? I just keep on banging on them. That's just my mindset, okay? So see how I'm using my EOS in the follow-up? Here's what we believe, okay? I think you believe the same things, okay? How many people fall off when you get a client that you're not doing a great job with them after you've got them, and you're not continuing to stay in their life to get that 5.7 referrals? How many people that's their problem?
After the close?
Yes. So just remember, I want you to look at every deal as 6 deals. So how do we do this in a day? Then I'll let you take a break. If you answer this question right, I'll let you take a break. How do we make it all fit in a day? With an assistant. All right, so here's the rhythm. There's 4 things I want you doing every day. And this, I've looked at every which way I can make it as simple as I can. Every day I want you pitching new people, new money. We call that our what? Hit list. Every day we're pitching new people. That's the hit list. New money. Every day. How many do I want you pitching a day? 3. Typically 3. I'm not asking you to call 150 people. I'm saying every day that you go to work, I want you thinking, who's out there I can help? Could it be a past client? Yes. Could it be a referral? Yes. Could it be a current client to sell them something else? Yes. Could it be to get their kids? Yes. We're looking for new money every day. Then, a part of my day is spent trying to close people who have indicated interest. We call that our farm club. So what are we doing? We're touching, bumping, nudging, inviting. We're constantly just keeping them in a forward posture.
You said to close people what?
In the farm club.
Who have shown interest.
That have shown interest. I'm typically going after 3 to 5 a week. My goal is to close 5 people a week. Now we're going after a lot more than that, but the goal is, right? So there's 2 things I'm doing every day. Every day, at some point of the day, like for example, this morning on my way into my office, I have about a 10-minute drive. I called 5 clients in 10 minutes. Here's what I know. 7:56 in the morning, none of them answer. None of them answer. I left them all voicemail. Hey, this is Coach Burt. I want you to know I'm fighting for you today. I love coaching you. Have a great day. You with me? 5 clients I hit on the way into the office this morning. Okay, so every day I'm calling on new people. So then on the bus ride over to our first appointment this morning, I was on the phone calling on new people. So I tell my team, give me people to call. And they'll be like, this person's on the fence, this person's on the fence, this person wants this. I'm on the phone. Hey, this is Coach Burt. I understand you're looking at our services. We believe everybody needs a good coach. And I'm hitting on those people. You with me? So every day I'm pitching new people. Every day I'm loving on current people. Every day I'm onboarding new customers. Why is that critical? Onboarding means I'm spending some time with the new customer. I'm interested in the referrals. Hey, who else do we need to be helping? You just signed up for our coaching services. Who else do we need to be helping? Right? Slowing down onboarding. So I make a habit now. I call all of our new customers and I say, welcome to the program, excited. Or I send them a video, a little viewed it video, okay? And the fourth thing I'm doing every day is I'm loving on my biggest referral partners. That's my top 25.
What are daily activities you do that?
Basically just calling, checking in, how you doing, how can I help you move the ball down the field. I'm having a big event in a few weeks for my top 25 where they can come and enjoy a good night. We got Randy Houser, the country music singer, is going to be there. You know, I may do a private event in my house. I'm constantly trying to just touch all these people at the top of the food chain. Okay? Now, I get all that in typically. Now, I may work, I started today about 7:30. I may work till 5 o'clock today. Then I'll go meet my family. I'll go to church tonight. So a lot of people say, man, do you work 18 hours a day? No, I don't work 18 hours a day. I'm just very effective. Some days I work 18 hours a day. Right, Bill? Bill's looking at me like, Bill, how many hours do you think I work every day?
6. 16.
6 with a 10.
4 wrapped into 16 with intensity.
I just get a lot done in the same time. I sleep just like you do. I just get a lot done in my time. Now, and what I do is I'm very religious about this. When I map out my day, I'm going to get this done today. You understand what I'm saying? So I've just put it into a system of effectiveness. And if I do all of this in a day, I believe something good's going to happen. We're going to sell something. Is it going to be what I want every day? No. But with this much activity, something good is going to happen. We're going to uncover something. Everybody with me here? Before this year is up, I'm going to teach you all of these strategies. So when I'm done with you, you will have so many strategies, they'll be coming out of your ears, and there will never be an excuse why you're not hitting your real estate goals. You follow me here? Because I'm going to turn you into little mini Coach Burts, okay? Haircut and all. All right, let's take a break. Good job, guys. Good first session. Okay, now, I want you to think about your specific missing structure, because we're gonna move into the follow-up. Okay, we're gonna get into the follow-up in just a second, because we've got kind of the EOS, and we're gonna get into the follow-up. So I want to give the 4 missing structures, and I want to see where your biggest missing structure is, because this is where you're losing money. 1, you don't feel confident in your EOS, which would produce call reluctance, creative avoidance. Okay, how many people can honestly say they're prospecting for 2 hours a day every day? What would happen if you dedicated time every day for 2 hours to prospecting? Would you make a lot more money? When you have something powerful to say, there's no reason for you not to get on the phone and do it, right? So all of the top agents I've ever coached prospect 2 hours a day, every day, 9 to 11, every morning. So one thing we're trying to do, as I shared with you, is we're trying to prospect every day from 9 to 11, no customer issues, not do anything but prospect. Outbound calls from 9 to 11 every day. Okay? Focus time. If you can commit to that, I'm telling you. So, but if you don't have a good EOS, you're not going to want to do that because you don't have anything valuable to say. Second place you could have a missing structure is you don't have a selling system So therefore, you're not getting enough leads. This activity produces leads. Circulation produces leads. Yeah, basically what you're looking at is the wholesaling system. And what I mean by that is calculated activity. You know, if you guys were on the accountability session yesterday, I talked about collusion. And what I'm saying is all of these strategies are working in synergy with each other. I don't know which one of these are going to work this week. I just know this. If I work a hit list and a farm club and a top 25 and I'm loving on new customers, there ain't no way we're not going to create something. So I can't tell you every week which one of these are going to work. I'm just going to put my head down and work the system. And what I think is going to happen is we're going to produce leads. And then we're going to get better at selling those leads. That's the goal. So if you don't have this, what I'm basically saying to you is your problem is you don't have enough strategy. And because of that, you got too few leads. Because you got too few leads, your pipeline's not full enough. Because of that, you're not hitting your sales goals. Okay? Third big missing structure is I don't have a great 7-touch follow-up. I don't have a great 7-touch follow-up. How many people that say that's a weakness? Okay, so the analogy today is you don't ask somebody to marry you on the first date. Okay, unless you're in Vegas. And so what you're doing is you're pushing people to something. So I spend a lot of time pushing people to something. Following up, 7 touches, keep the distance, right? Keep following up. So we're going to be working on your 7-touch follow-up. And the fourth big missing structure is you are not extracting the 5.7 referrals from your current clients. And that could indicate that it's too transactional in nature. It's too transactional in nature. So you're falling at less than 9% of people that remember you. That, to me, that's a huge slap in the face. If you help someone with one of the largest transactions of their life and they don't remember your name after the transaction. Is that not a huge slap in the face? I would hate to coach you guys for 6 months and me get done 6 months later and you go, he was, you know, I don't even remember who he was.
Coach Jim, I think.
Yeah, a little bald-headed dude. That means it was very unimpactful. And that would be sad to me. Yes?
Question.
Yep.
Is it possible that, because I don't think that's it for me, and most of my clients become really good friends and we stay in touch. Is it possible that I have morphed myself from being the realtor, the professional, to...
Yes. That's called being stuck in the friend zone. And the friend zone is, I like you, but for some reason I can't, for some reason we're buddies. And here's what here's what happens when you become too good friends is people begin to devalue your expertise. Right?
Yeah.
They begin to, you know, I mean, it is possible that the #1 real estate agent in the whole world could be in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, and I'm thinking of who was it? Nathaniel in the Bible who, when they were talking about Jesus, what did he say? Can anything good come out of Nazareth? You're telling me that right? Can anything? And I think about that. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Here was his assumption: nothing good can come out of a little town like that. Right? Well, here's what I would tell you. What happens is when you become friends with people, they begin to devalue your service, and it's like, hey, she's my buddy. She's not my real estate professional.
So what are your hints to get out of that friend zone?
Well, I mean, I think you do want it, but I think you got to protect the special. And what I mean by that is I like to get close to my clients, but I don't like to get too close to where they don't value my expertise.
But what if they're already friends?
Well, if they're already friends with you, if you do it right and you really have a strong skill set, then they should stay with you. For example, my 2 best friends pay me every month to coach them. Now, I want you to think about that. My college roommate pays me every month to coach him. My best friend, the best man in my wedding, pays me to coach him because he values my skill set that much, right? I also use them and their services, and I pay them. I don't ask them to discount it because we're buddies. But there's a lot of respect between us so we can be friends and then we can be professionals. But not everybody can handle that. I've told Bill before, there's some people that get too close to us and become too buddy and too friends with us that they begin to devalue our expertise. Then it's like, well, why would I pay for it if I could get it for free?
Well, see, I think those people need to be reminded that you do that, because when you're with your friends or people that you generate as your friends through your transactions with past clients, you don't talk shop to them as a friend. So you just need to occasionally bring that up and just kind of throw that out there. Listen, when you're working in real estate, just, you know, if you know of anybody,
Yeah.
you know, just pitch it back to them. Make sure they know that you're doing this. This is what you do. You're not just a friend. You are.
And you need to remind them. You know, one of the lawyers that I used took me to dinner one night in Nashville, and he said to me, I know you use lawyers on these big contracts you sign. You and I have known each other for years. You know, I'm one of the top attorneys in Tennessee. Why are you not using me? He just called me on it. And you know what I said? All you had to do was ask me.
Were you waiting for him to ask you?
No. But I mean, he lived in West Tennessee. I lived in Middle Tennessee. I was just out there moving.
So he wasn't even on your radar.
He wasn't on my radar. He came to Nashville, met with me, asked me, and I said, you can handle the next deal. So it was the point of, hey, I'm here. I know you believe in me. Why would you not use me? Well, I didn't think to use you because you're not at the top of my mind all the time. You're over there and I'm over here. So, but that little conversation, I've never forgotten that. You know, I've never forgotten him kind of saying to me, why, you know, what's holding you up from using me? And,
How do you get someone to be a better promoter for you? So this is what I have. I have 99% of my business, Jeannie and I are very the same. Our business is very referral based. We don't advertise. It's like 99%. My clients, most of them, I'll speak for them, love me and use me personally, but I have trouble getting, my business is referral based, but I feel like I should have way more business based on the number of people who do say they love working with me.
Yep.
Why are they not referring more to you? It's like,
Yep.
I don't know how to get them to keep me in mind. Like, some of them are great about it.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of them are not good about it.
so what I feel like she's talking about is promoters, not advocates. There's a difference here. And I want you to remember what the difference is. The difference is this. Let's say Abby works with Coach Burt. She likes the experience. It's helping her grow. But she never talks about me to anybody. If someone were to ask her, hey, what's it like working with Coach Burt?
She would say it's great.
If solicited, she'd say positive things.
Right.
Hey, I've enjoyed it. Here's what I get out of it.
Yeah.
That's a promoter, which means we are still kind of in the living room with each other. We're not in the kitchen yet. Now, if I change Abby's life and I stay at the top of her mind and I'm constantly in her brain, she's out there telling other people, hey, I'm in this new coaching program. You need to come to it too. Can I get you in a class to come see him at Monster Producer? Now she's moved to that last level, which is where my concept of my top 25 is. What I'm trying to do is get 25 people. So if you tell me you got 300, I'm trying to whittle that down to there's 25 very special relationships that I am just constantly, I'm going to use the word omnipresent. I'm constantly just in their life all the time. And those people are out there fighting for me. They are advocating for me. So I feel like maybe either you're not at the top of their mind enough, maybe they don't have the referral capacity to be in your top 25, because I got friends that don't have any friends. You know what I'm talking about? And even if they love me, or I got friends who don't have any influence.
But that, what Julie was saying, I think there's some people that just, it never crosses their mind that I'm referral based.
Yeah.
And whereas if you do something for me, I am referring you out the
That's right.
wazoo.
Yeah.
Because and that's what I'm saying. I think there's some people that just don't have that mindset. So are you saying they shouldn't be in our top 25?
I am saying that.
Okay.
For example, I got a guy, a Monster Producer right now, is bringing 11 people with him to class in September. One guy. He's like, look, I'm bringing everybody. Okay? Paul, you brought how many people to Chattanooga? 7 people? Yeah. So what if I had 25 Pauls and they were all bringing me 7 new people? Does that make sense?
Can you change them?
Now, here's what I would tell you, though. Some people are never going to refer you. I would just tell you they can't be in your top 25. Your top 25 is only reserved for people who can and will refer you. You can be friends with people and they're your friends. But I'm looking for 25 people. Yes?
I remember one of the times I've heard you speak that you're a realtor, y'all go eat breakfast every Saturday.
Every Saturday morning.
Do y'all talk about real estate every Saturday morning? Because do you really care to talk about, I mean, you're not
Yeah.
in real estate, so
Yeah.
how do you keep, like, how do you, that's just where I find it hard to
We
prevent from being so close to being friends, but keep being
Yeah.
on top of your mind.
We talk about, no, we don't talk about real estate. We talk about deals. We talk about growing businesses. We talk about our wives. We talk about our kids. We talk about all kinds of things. Most of it's business minded. It's not specific to my business, because there will be sometimes I tell him, look, I'm off today. I'm just here to eat breakfast. Enjoy it. Okay, I ain't coaching anybody today. It's my day off. So we don't get deep into coaching. But he may say, what do you think I should do about this? I get a lot of feedback from him. He's constantly giving me ideas about how he thinks we can do this better. So it's kind of just a friendly exchange, but it's more of a friend breakfast. But he does take me to, he does that with 25 people. He's not, doesn't take them all to breakfast, but every day he's at lunch with somebody. Every day he's breakfast with the same people. He's circulating he's great at advocating for people. That's his number one skill set. Yes?
I was going to ask you if you send him a letter for.
I do.
Do you spend your Saturday morning with the same person every week?
Yep, I do. I send him a lot of referrals, and to be honest with you, he has built, and this is when you know it's a golden deal. He has worked so hard to be there for me that I would feel guilty not sending him deals. My own conscience would not let me push somebody else. I was looking at a big deal once, and it was $1 million house, and that's not his price range he typically works in. So I went to my wife and I said, do you think he can handle this deal? Do I need to have an agent who typically specializes in deals this big? And my wife said, you are not using anybody else but him. That's how good he's been to us. You understand what I'm saying? So it don't matter. So sometimes it swatches it. Yep. Bill, you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, this is the same person that started with you how many years ago?
Yeah. I've been working 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, 7, 8 years. Started out selling 20 homes a year. We'll do about 400,000 in income.
Yeah, he's going to do about 120 this year.
Yeah.
He'll do 120 transactions this year. And when I started coaching him, he was averaging right at 30 a year. He was stuck at 35 or 40 deals a year. Now he's on track to do about 120 this year. So there's a lot of loyalty between he and I.
So an advocate, it's mutual.
Absolutely.
It has to be mutual.
Yes.
And so.
Yes.
If you think you're gonna move one of your promoters to advocate and it's not mutual, forget about it.
What I would just say is they don't need to be in your top 25. Your advocates should be people you love working with. Like there's a mutual respect between you and them. Like Christy Wilson has quickly become one of my advocates, and I've quickly become one of hers. I'm out there pushing her, promoting, right? And she's out there the other night, real producer party, introducing me to people. That should be how it works. Is that I'm out there saying positive things, she's saying positive things, we're working together, right? So look, how does that work? Let's say somebody comes into Nashville and says, like, I'm moving from, here to Nashville. Who should I go work with? What's a top firm I should work with? I may say, well, here's exactly where I think you need to be. Okay?
You say he's up to 120 deals, which is a massive amount of production. How does he keep up with these personal relationships
Yeah.
with those people? And like, how can any realtor keep up with that many relationships?
He has a team. He does have a team. And he's got different little, he's got little people on his team. He stays up here and works on the advocate part. It's kind of like a front man.
I'm afraid I'd be, hey, Tiger.
Yeah, hey, what's your name? Hey, he's kind of like a front man. All of his activity is out there in the world circulating, seeing people, loving on people. These deals are coming in and he's handing them off.
So my thing with that is that when that happens, I know a lot of people that are turned off by that. They don't want to work with the handoff. The whole point is that developing a relationship with the front. So how do you
He's going to stay involved with it, I'm assuming. So I have this problem with some of my top mortgage originators too, is, for them to do the volume they're doing, 100 million and above, they cannot be involved in every part of the process. So, but they do include themselves in the beginning, in the middle, at the end, enough to where that person feels like they've got, right? they got the main person. And that's what he does too, is he gets involved, but he fights for them in a way that builds a deep bond with them so they're okay with the other parts.
I'd be interested to learn that sort of setup.
Yeah.
Like how that actually.
That's hard to do, I think, because anytime I feel like I work with a team,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to, and then okay, somebody jumps in the email and says, well, now I'm gonna take over from contract to close, and I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah.
God. And they're asking me for the same stuff that I'd already given the agent, and it's just, there's a skill.
There he is. Because here's what I would tell you though. How many deals do you think a single solopreneur real estate agent can do by themselves?
Without assistant, like literally effectively. No assistant, nobody, just by themselves, one person. Yeah, or something.
How many? You say 20? Okay. You say 40 a year? So we got everywhere from 20 to 50.
Like doing all their own contracts.
Yeah.
And that's with no help whatsoever.
Nothing, no outsourcing contracts, nothing.
Okay. So can you see where the part of the problem comes in though? When we're trying to scale something up and make it bigger? I want you to think of it like an assembly line. And you're here doing this part, and then you're running over here doing this part, and then you're running over here doing this part, and then you run over here doing this part, and then you're running back over here and starting the cycle again. Well, that's part of the challenge with making something bigger and growing, is that you're involved in every part of it, okay? Yeah, you're doing every single part, okay? All right, so let's ask this question. How many people, when it comes to the follow-up from suspect to client, how many people think they have, let's go through right now. If I was in your pipeline, what kind of touches would I get if I was in your pipeline and I indicated interest in you? Who has an airtight 7-touch system?
I feel like I have a pretty good one.
Okay?
Just probably because my client base is so small, it's real easy to do that.
Okay.
But I also struggle with feeling like I'm annoying sometimes
Okay.
too.
Yep.
But you've given me a little nugget.
Yep.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
3 voicemails.
Yeah.
Intentionally call me.
Yeah. Now, so how many different, I want you to think of this. If you were following up with me, and here's what you got to know you're fighting. The statistics tell us 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time. Why do we have to go that distance? Why do we have to go 7 to 15? Why do you think that's happening? Attention span, people are busy, they're urgent. When do people make big buying decisions? Typically on the weekends, when their brain is relaxed. So when you're hitting them through the week and they're going, right? They're moving fast. I make big decisions on the weekends.
I've just been on the other side of it, where I've had people do that to me multiple times, every single week. I'm like, oh my God.
The weekend?
No, just calling me every week, trying to get my business.
Yep.
Whether it's Rodin Hills or.
Yeah.
You know, I have, like, with that, you know, so
I
many
know.
people that do it, I'm stuck with one person.
Yep.
Not anything bad about it, but, you know,
Right.
you just, sometimes, I don't want to be that person.
I agree. Now, so here's what I would tell you. It doesn't always have to be direct. Like sometimes I send indirect things. Like I was working with this team. Here's a couple strategies we're using that's working, like an association email. Sometimes I'll write a blog and say, hey, this would be good to share with your team. Sometimes, so what I try to do is just create a bunch of stuff that I can use different touches in these follow-ups. I could use different touches. Now, so I'm just kind of, so I want you to think about boxing. If you watch the Mayweather and McGregor fight, I want you to think about this. There is actually a science to boxing. I know it looks like they just get in there and beat on each other, right? But the reason Vaynerchuk wrote the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, is because there's actually a sweet science to boxing. They jab, right? They jab. I want you to think of your follow-ups as little jabs. Bam. I just hit them. I just hit them. I just hit them. And you don't come like every time right at a person and just, right? Buy something. Buy something. So when Vaynerchuk wrote that book, what he's saying when you do social media is if you get on social media and try to sell something every time, you're throwing a big hook. Well, eventually people go, my God, man, every time I hear this guy, he's trying to sell me something. So what you have to do is you jab with value. So what my strategy is I write a blog. I create a podcast. I create a video. I say something positive. And every 3 times I do this, then one time I'll say, now buy this. Okay? And I try to be very cognizant of that, because if I get on there every time and just promote and promote and push, people will go, man, he's always trying to sell me something. Okay? So I try to create value. Your touches should be the same way. It should be a little value, a little value, a little value, bam. Okay? So the person that calls you every week, I've got a guy that tries to sell me life insurance. And it's not that I don't agree that I may need more life insurance than what I currently have. My point to him is, I have people in my coaching programs who are paying me money who sell life insurance. Why would I go outside of that and use a person over here that's just trying to sell me a product and has bought a $25 book from me when I have an insurance agent that sends me business and I have a relationship with? So if he calls me every week trying to sell me life insurance, I eventually go, that's enough, okay? I'm not interested in this product. I like you, okay? But this is getting annoying. And you don't ever want to be that person, right? So at some point, I would say when you've gone 7 touches with a person, I got no problem you going, look, seems like you're not interested in this. There's 7 billion people on planet Earth. I'd love to help you. If, with your permission, we'll stay in the boat with you and keep contacting you at some point in the future. If you need something, we're going to stay in your life, but we're not going to chase you, and we're not going to just be annoying to you. So use the full arsenal of tools to follow up, which could be video, text, could be Facebook, could be phone calls, could be articles, could be blogs. But I do see a lot of business that's lost because we just don't have a good system to hang in there with a person. Okay? And it's because we're just overwhelmed with all of this stuff that's going on, right? And here's the deal. I think we're sitting on about 350 leads right now and growing every day. We're not going to get to all those. I could go home every night sick that we don't get to every single person. All I want is an effort every day to know that, hey, we're working these leads. We're doing the best we can. We're not dropping them. You know, the only thing I don't want to hear is a person say, we tried to do business with you, but nobody followed up with us. That's the only thing. As long as we're working them, I'm fine. You know, I get it that we're not going to get to all those with the number of people we got every day. Okay? So just keep working it. Okay, we're going to end. Bill, I'm going to bring Bill up right now. We're going to work on something. Okay? Bill, you're up. Because we've got something for you.
What are we doing?
We're working on this process on an outbound call.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things that I have found is that some people are hesitant to make outbound calls.
Imagine that.
Why? Why are they hesitant? Fear, rejection, don't have an EOS. So we've been working with our team on like a process. This is not necessarily the EOS. The EOS is when we're having, Jeannie and I are having discussion, and I'm like pitching her my services. This is just a little framework when you're making an outbound call to a person. Person may have indicated interest, right? You don't call them and say, hey, let me unpack my 6-step EOS on you here, okay? Because Coach Burt told me to. Sometimes there's just some basic blocking and tackling. So we've actually come up with somewhat of a script on just a little bit of a rhythm when we make an outbound call to a person, okay? So I want Bill to kind of go through this and think about with you how this fits in your world, okay? Because I do think this, sometimes you just got to tell people, this is what you need to say right here. This is it. If you're new to real estate, this is going to be very helpful, okay? Go ahead.
So anytime you're making a call, there's a criteria that has to be met in order to really have engagement, right? So we can get on the phone and we can start blabbering. We've all done it, and there's no engagement at all. This is a proven method by neurologists who worked with some computer scientists. They designed a method, and it works. Of taking a person through a process. This could be a cold call lead. This could be an organic lead. It doesn't matter what it is. But the first part we want the introduction. When you think about it, we call somebody, we want to know who's calling us immediately. So the first part is hey, this is Bill, right? First name. If you add your last name, it depersonalizes it. So we want to be friends. Hey, this is Bill with the Christy Wilson Group. So I gave them the name of the company, so they're not wondering who I am. There's no question here. Second thing, which is critically important, guys, you got to ask for permission when you make a call. Hey, is this a good time? Do you have a few minutes? And it's just very conversational. But see what happens a lot of times, we call people and they go, yeah, I'm walking, sorry, I'm feeding the kids, or I'm walking the dog, and we're already into our pitch because we haven't listened. So these are really critical. This will help you close. Your conversion rate will go sky high. So permission, is this a good time to call? You have a good time to talk right now? Yeah, it's okay, I'm good to listen. If not, no, it's really not. Well, when can I give you a call back? I'd love to talk to you. I want to share a few things with you about a new listing that we have on the market. The third thing is the purpose. We want to get to that very quickly. Hey, the reason I'm calling is you had been on our website, or Jennifer said that you were possibly interested in listing your home. I just want to make sure that I gave you the information you needed in order to select the appropriate realtor, whether that is me or someone else. And then the next thing is discovery. You've got to find out, and this is where you start building rapport. You haven't built rapport yet, you've just been friendly. So at this point, now we're going to build a little bit of rapport. So we're going to start identifying if it's a lead, a cold lead, a referral. Hey, we're calling a business owner who we think buys real estate. God, there's so many opportunities. Or a real estate investor that we'd like to be able to share some property so they can buy from us. And then we'd like to sell them for them in the end. So this is the discovery part. This is where we start finding out a little bit about what they need. And guys, I'll tell you, this is the part where you want to take notes. Because the words, the language they use, they will tell you what they're looking for. And if we listen, we'll be able to give that back to them, share that back to them in a conversation, and they'll understand, man, this person's really listening to me. So in other words, just listen to the words that they use. They're going to tell you what you're looking for. And then the next part, so that's the discovery. You build a rapport, but you're trying to identify what it is that they are really looking for. So the other part is the frame. Anytime you have a conversation with another person, your frames are meeting, right? This is my perspective. This is how I see the world of real estate. This is my perspective. This is how I see the world of what a realtor is. So you have that frame all the time. So what you want to do is you want to set the frame. Remember, you guys are the prize. They're calling you. They're asking for you because you're an expert in real estate, right? So remember that when you're calling or talking to someone, you really know, you know way more than anybody else that you're talking to on the other end. So make sure that you realize from that position that you're kind of a big deal. You're the prize. So make sure that in that, when you have a conversation with them, you're actually presenting yourself as an authority. So one of the things that we do is we kind of take things away. I'm not sure that we're going to be the real estate. I'm not sure that we're going to do business together as a real estate company or as a client. But if we do decide to do business together, I'm going to share a few things about the Christy Wilson Group and how we do it. But when I'm done, I'd really like for you to share with me why you believe you would be a good client for us. See what happened there? So the beautiful thing, it was so slick, but it was so good. I just elevated my status. Guess who's going to be selling at the end of this? So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to tell you how we're going to sell your house faster than any other realtor out there, for the highest price, with the best communication, all the things that make you unique. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to say, does this sound like what you would be looking for in a realtor? Yeah, it really sounds exactly like what I want. Well, now share with me, John, why you believe you would be a good client working with us. And guess who's doing the last selling? It's them. And they're going to start selling you on why you should take them on as a client. I'm telling you, this works. I mean, this is called framing, and it absolutely works. You're raising your level, your position, your status, and it is very, very powerful. So you set the frame, you go through that, you got the close. After you close it, confirm it. Is there any reason why the decision you make today to have me as your realtor would change? Nope, none at all. Okay, well, fantastic. Now I'm going to come back over. We're going to put a sign in the yard or whatever it is. Just know. So here's the thing: the phone is your friend. You'll make a lot of money if you embrace it. If you don't embrace it, it's going to be a challenge. I know a lot of people don't like to use the phone, but guys, man, we're just having a conversation. We do it all the time. So when you have your EOS down, the confidence that you will have to make those calls is incredible, because you'll know where you're going in all your conversations. The other thing too, a lot of people don't like scripts. I'm telling you, get a script. Write a script. I'll write you a script. Have a script for everyone that you talk to. If you're talking to a buyer, if you're talking to a seller trying to get the listing appointment, have a script, because a script will take you through a process. It's very hard to get off track when you're on a script. And it's not, and then it becomes yours though. The script is a skeleton, make it your own, right? You're like your EOS, but it will take you through this process. Guys, if you got on the phone, or if you engaged other people and talked to them when the opportunities are there, because you understand you're comfortable, it'll change your business. I mean, just the very fact that we've decided, I mean, this is a conscious decision we've made. We're gonna be on the phone for 2 hours every day. It's already changed our business. One, imagine how much better we've gotten in a week of being on the phone. It's absolutely incredible. So just getting on that phone and holding yourselves accountable and saying, hey, maybe it's not 2 hours, maybe it's a half an hour, maybe it's 35, 40 minutes, but it's something you do it every single day. It drives your revenue, it will drive your business. But this is the outline. It's very simple, and it's been proven, and it's been proven by some of the greatest minds in sales, in business, and in revenue development. You use this outline, and everything that you do on the telephone or in person, it will drive your sales. You cannot help but get listings and sell properties. Any questions on this at all?
Now, notice the biggest thing that I like out of that I want you to get is you have got to make up your mind that you are the prize. You're not supplicating. Supplicating means you put the person who you think has the money in a superior position to you. Okay? In 2008, I was working with a guy worth $50 million. And I said to him, just because you have more money than me doesn't mean I don't have something valuable to help you with. And if you're going to discount my value, I've said, I spent my whole life coaching. I can help you get to where you need to go. But we have got to get on an equal footing here of where you value my perspective, or this ain't going to work. Just because you have more money than me doesn't mean that I'm not valuable to you. And he appreciated that. What he's talking about is prizing. And prizing is, I've made up my mind that you need to qualify for me to work with you. And you know why? Because I've worked with enough people that I didn't enjoy working with. Right? And I'm 41 years old. So now I'm saying, look, for this to work, there's got to be a commitment on your side. So you tell me this is a vested partnership. You know, one thing we could say in ours is we believe in a vested partnership, not a one-sided relationship. That means we're both going to work with each other to make this work. Too many agents supplicate. You're real important and I'm not important. I'm just chasing you around. And mortgage originators drive me crazy on this one. They're chasing you around. And they're supplicating to you. Can I do this? Can you buy a cup of coffee? Can I get some Chick-fil-A biscuits? Can I do this? Can I, whatever. I'm like, act like a freaking professional. The big ones shouldn't have to do that. They should create so much value that you want to work with them. Right or wrong? So my point is, what Bill is talking about is when you make outbound calls, if you have some hesitation, this is a great, just keep it right in front of you. That's what we're doing with our team. Hey, this is Eric from Coach Burt's team. A lot of times I say, Coach Burt personally wanted me to call you. You know, Coach Burt wanted me to call you this morning. We were talking about you. Is this an appropriate time to talk? A lot of people don't ask that question because they're afraid that they'll say, no, it's not a good time to talk. Well, if you're making your pitch right in the middle of their kids screaming, they didn't hear it anyway. If it's not a good time to talk, can I call you back this afternoon? I'll be in the office tomorrow. You know, I know we want to get it all in, but just getting that permission, the purpose of the reason I'm calling today is this. You indicated interest, right? You looked on our website at these properties, okay? I just need to ask you a few questions to make sure we do this right for you. So you could just keep this right in front of you and just work right through it. And that should give you some confidence. And then you won't need the script. You'll become so good at it, push it to the side, okay? So 2 things I want to leave you with today, okay? Those Cheetos are looking good, girl. I'm telling you what. I'm starting to get afternoon munchies. They are. They're looking good. All right. So here's the big things I want you to walk away with today, okay? I'm very proud that you guys have been working on your EOS. Most companies we work with, there's 2 types of companies. One company digs in and does it. One company messes around with it like it ain't important. You want to make more money, have a great explanation of services. End of discussion. Okay? It ain't my money, it's yours. The people who have great ones make a lot more, okay? So I'm proud of you for that. Here's what I want some commitments on. I want some commitments from you that every day, if you're not prospecting the time you should, and listen, you got to make up your mind what that is. I've decided in my company, it's 2 hours a day. In my company, it's 9 to 11 every morning. That includes me. So I'm on the phone just like my people are, okay? So every day we've increased our call time, 2 hours a day, every morning. We're training every morning from 8:30 to 9, which means we're practicing. We're working on scripts, call outs, right? And then from 9 to 11, we're on the phones. Now, you're going to get tested on this. Very first day, they're going to go, well, could we do this? Could we do that? Can we? No, no. Like, I got a 5-year-old daughter. I'm very good at saying this. No. We're not doing that. This time is dedicated to one thing. It is not dedicated to solving customer problems. It is not dedicated to playing on Facebook. It is not dedicated to anything else but outbound calls and prospecting. End of discussion. I'm not going to bring you anything to do from 9 to 11. Don't ask me, can you do anything else from 9 to 11? Everybody with me? I believe in 6 months we're going to see an uptick in our sales like you can't imagine. I really believe we'll make $1 million more a year if we will just get very good on the phone. Everybody with me? When I ask agents how long you prospected today, what do you think they typically tell me? I made a few calls. I made a few calls. Listen, the great, yeah, including 8 minutes of prep time, 2 minutes of phone calls. So guys, I'm telling you, you got to step across the line here and commit. Y'all are getting better at selling because now you got an EOS. Now we're working a system. Now we're starting to really get good at this, okay? We're just getting started. We're only 2 or 3 months into this thing. When I get done with you, you're going to be like little trained machines, okay? And that's going to produce a lot more revenue for you. Everybody with me? If I got you 1 more deal a month and you got 12 more deals a year, would it be worth it to you, yes or no?
Yes.
Think about 2 more deals a month.
Sweet.
Think about 24 more deals on top of what you're already doing.
That hurts my head.
And what that means to your life and your business. Does that make sense? See, we're starting to go all over the place where I can't get places because they can't get me there. And so I'm like, we got to make enough money to get an airplane or rent an airplane because I can't get from here to Knoxville this afternoon and be there by 4 o'clock. But I can if I got an airplane. So what we got to do to have an airplane? I told my team, if I go to Knoxville, you put 40 people in a room paying $400 apiece, I make $16,000 in the morning, $16,000 in the afternoon, I'll pay for the airplane. We'll fly the day of. We won't go the night of. You can stay home at your house with your family. We'll take an airplane if you'll fill that room up. You with me? So you can have anything you want if you go out and sell enough to have it. You follow me here? You just got to go out and sell enough to have it, okay? So there's always incentive out there to do better. So today, make the commitment. We're going to continue to work on this 7-touch follow-up. Today we worked on Hit List, Farm Club, EOS, okay? Thank you guys for being so coachable.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, have a great day.